and welcome back. In Lesson 9, we'll have a look at relative clauses. A relative clause tells us which person or thing the speaker means. We use who in a relative clause for people. The man who lives next to me is a fashion designer. I don't like people who complain all the time. You may also use that for people. The man that lives next to me is a fashion designer. When we are talking about things, we use that or which. I like stories that have a happy ending, or you can say I like stories which have a happy ending. When who, that, which is the object, you can leave it out. The professor who I wanted to see, or you can say the professor I wanted to see. I found the keys that you lost, or I found the keys you lost. You can say I drove a car which I liked very much, but you can also say I drove a car I liked very much. After a comma, you cannot use that instead of who and which. For example, John, who speaks French and Italian, works as a tour guide, is the correct form. Or Anna told me about her new job, which she enjoys a lot. Let's have a look at the word whom. We can use whom instead of who when it is the object of the verb. Your father is a man whom I admire very much. Although it is technically correct to use whom when it functions as the object of a verb and who when it functions as the subject, it is much more common to use who in both cases. So, your father is a man who I admire very much is also correct. We use whom and which after words or expressions like all of, most of, many of, some of, neither of, none of, both of, one of, etc., etc. Helen has 3 brothers, all of whom are married. Peter has 2 sisters, none of whom is blonde. They have 3 cars, 2 of which are Japanese. You can also use whom with prepositions: to whom, from whom, with whom, etc. Mr. Dupont, to whom I spoke at the meeting, is not French. He's Canadian. Let's take a look at prepositions to, in, for in relative clauses. Peter is talking to a woman. Do you know her? Do you know the woman Peter is talking to? Are you looking for these books? Are these the books you are looking for? I slept in a bed and it wasn't comfortable. The bed I slept in wasn't comfortable. Now let's have a look at whose. Whose we use mostly for people. I met someone whose mother lives next door to me. I met a friend whose sister knows you. Could the person whose car is parked outside please move it? This concludes our lesson on relative clauses. I'll see you at lesson 10. Bye-bye.